has been harmed. It has been terribly harmed. Even its water is in pain. And we have the ability, because we still have the genes left, even though they're dormant, we still have the genes left in our gene code that can jumpstart hydrolase conversion in our own body, get us back to, not all at once, but progressively get us back to where we can heal the imprints, or the karmic imprints, from while you were, from the point in the womb where fetal integration got messed up because of the Metatronic mutation in the gene codes, all the way up through to where you can get your own body clock back into the natural cycles that should be like what would have been the natural age things. It's literally like reprogramming your past out of the mutation, and from the future point that you are, because we have the frequencies available now that allow for what's called raising the Eridanus. We will be able to send back in time, back through our cells in time, to the points of ourselves at those ages when the mutation amplified, and work ourselves literally back out of it. It will also give our own bodies a better chance at healing than we've ever had as far as the physicality. You know, not just the spirit body, but and the light body, but the physical body as well. Everybody's body will work different, and everybody has a different set of karmic miasmic imprints to purge. Everybody's life experience has been different than each other, but there are similarities that we all carry. They have to do with planetary, galactic, universal karma, and there are very specific imprints held in our bodies that connect to those things. During the process of the techniques we'll use this weekend, we will be going into clearing those karmic miasmic imprints by literally burning them off the easy way, so you don't have to project them out and walk through the misery, where you can burn them off and transmute them back into natural organic form using the Eridanus technologies. So we're in the middle of a whole new leap as far as the sophistication of the material. Sophistication doesn't mean it has to be hard. With all of this, all along, I've learned that, well, some of it looks very hard, and trying to remember names of everything and where what goes and what's inhaled, what's exhaled, and all of that, it can be enough to make your mind spin. The most important thing isn't memorizing all of the facts. You can if you want to. They're put there, so the sequence of understanding is there. But just getting the gist of, oh yeah, that has to do with that, and that works that way. So when you use a technique, you have an idea of what you're doing, which means you're anchoring it in your 3D body, in your mind, and also it will go from the mind, which connects to strand 3, down to strand 2 in the emotional body and the physical body, and to strand 1, which goes into what's called the etheric atomic D1 template. All right, through this process, we're beginning the process of healing what is called the DNA template, which is the D1 etheric atomic, what is looked at as the physical DNA that is referred to as the telluric DNA, or the chemical DNA that science sees under microscopes, and also something called the epigenetic overlay, which is a coating of chemical on the DNA, physical DNA, that actually controls what parts of the genes will activate and when and how they will behave. The epigenetic overlay, we call it the ego overlay, is connected to certain things called reversed spin hibernation zones that are in our atmosphere that are connected to the Van Allen radiation belts, which are not natural configurations. These things are keeping the mutation locked in our bodies. When we begin to work with the Eridanus technologies, what we're having returned to us once again are the technologies that will allow us to reclaim our right to ascension, our right to take our bodies with us, because that's what we were designed to do. That's what humans were designed to do. Animal forms weren't meant to be mutated either. They were supposed to be able to turn into light and pop up somewhere else. Animals could go through. There's a lot of distorted teachings on this planet. They say that plants and animals don't have souls. Yeah, right? So it's okay to like maim them, kill them, eat them, right? That kind of stuff? No. Actually, souls, if you define the soul as something different than the spirit, the soul is an aspect of light body that corresponds to density 2. That's all. The soul is not your spirit identity. The soul is a particular cluster of light cells that your spirit identity uses in order to interface with density 2. That's all. Now, animals and plants have a bit different structure than an angelic human or an indigo, but they still have a density 2 light body structure, so therefore, yes, they do have souls. But what's most important is we all have spirit bodies, and the spirit and the soul are two different things. The soul has become a prison here because the density 2 light body has been mutated and harnessed by certain forces that were never meant to harness it. When we use Eridanus resurrection technologies. We have the ability to heal our souls and bring that natural structure back to our light body structure, and to bring that part of our consciousness that was trapped. And presently, a lot of us have parts of ourselves trapped in density 2 in the Pleiades, in the Terran drama that's happening there, in density 3 in the Gaian drama that's happening there. We can bring the rest of ourselves back in through these technologies and get them healed so we can fully ascend out. We'll talk through this workshop about a lot of things. I'm still looking at all the new graphs that are sitting in many, many piles all over the place. Not quite with a sequence yet, but they have something to do with the sequence that you see up here. Yeah. And not quite sure what we're going to start with, but I know we're going to touch on, I'll have to get you through some of the anatomy. You need to know what a Rashtralee body is in order to understand the spirit body and where that fits. So we'll have to do the Rashtralee body information. We won't go through light body because we've done that a lot already. From like Kathara 1 forward was all light body stuff, 1, 2, and 3. So that's there. But we're going to, some of the most interesting things we're going to look at, one of the things I'm most excited about is what I call the birthday chart. That's where we see the natural cycle of unfolding of what would be the natural growth through time, evolution through time, that your body and your consciousness are supposed to go through, to the point where you hit age 33, which would be the maximum highest BPR, base pulse rhythm expansion, in the outer domain of the body form. And that is the body form that you would take through to a dashi. So when we get into this information and we start to see how, okay, we've had this mutation rampant on this planet since the Atlantean period for a very long time, we can begin the process of reverse mutating it. What that will mean is, if you're not 33 yet, it will be moving you toward that point but in natural Christic order, of highest base pulse rhythm in the outer domain body. That would be the image of the body that you would take with you. If you're 33, you kind of say, yeah, I missed that boat a long time ago, because we're about like that. Like, 33, yeah, where was I then? Right? I was walking in. Right? But it will begin a process of, from here, working back, and actually beginning to bring the body back to that base pulse rhythm. So we can't promise. I know the concept here. It's so close, because cellular regenesis is what one of the effects would be of this. I don't know how fast and who can and who can't. It depends on what's in the DNA to everybody personally. Whether you will, first of all, stop the forward aging process that is not natural. Aging past the age of 33, when you're all bright and shiny and still have rosy cheeks and you still feel like you're alive, right? That aging past that is not normal. Everything aged past that is part of the mutation. And that's a crime. That is a crime against eternity, not just a crime against humanity. So the first thing is, if we've missed that mark, which all of us have, if you're over 33, you've missed that boat, and the one at 22 before it, and the ones before it as well. Right? Lots of boats we missed at the other higher domains. But we can begin the process of, first of all, slowing the forward aging process on the Metatronic clock, to the point where first it stabilizes and doesn't seem to move forward or backward, but at least it's not moving forward, and you're maintaining, right? From that maintaining level, then start to bring the healing in and begin the process. Some people will actually start age regression back to the 33 point. Others, it may take them longer, and they may end up in slide zones and ascended out of here before they get to that point where you get to run around and kind of say, you're like, gee, what spot do you go to? Well, they have these really nice kivas, you see, up on Aurora 3 platform. Oh, where's that? Do you really want to know? Yeah. I'm almost hoping it's not too blatant, because if we do have all of a sudden, like after a couple of years of using this program, all of a sudden everybody's getting younger, word's going to get out. And we're going to get inundated with probably, celebrity-type people who have heavy investments in maintaining their youth in order to maintain their career edge. You know what I mean? And that'd be fine if they want to come, but that usually brings paparazzi. And storytellers and make up stories if you can't understand the story you're doing, and that kind of stuff. Last thing I'd ever want to do is see us like in certain publications, tabloids, like you buy at the grocery store when you don't want to read a newspaper. So I don't know how fast those type of effects will be available to us. But I do know, and I was quite surprised. I've had subtle effects with everything from Cathara 1 to various other things, but they seem slow, and they're subtle, and they're not quite as fast a fix as you'd like, that kind of thing, as far as your physical body goes. I was very encouraged by the one little trip I had to the Kivas, where they took me to Aurora 3 platform and soaked me in the water there. It was instant. I could feel the relief in the bilocation body, and it was simultaneously occurring in the physical body. And I had laid down at the point where I just couldn't even get up and function anymore. I couldn't take any more translations. I'm going down, guys. I feel awful. I'm going to curl up in a ball. And I felt so bad I couldn't even go to sleep. Do you ever get that where you just feel so awful you can't even force yourself to sleep to escape